This podcast is part of the Frederick Podcast Network. Learn more at listenfrederick.com.
Beers in the Lot is partnered with the Hockey Podcast Network.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to Beers in the Lot. Before we get going, let me just remind you about our shop at beersinthelot.com/shop. That's where you can get the t-shirts and other merchandise with Beers in the Lot logos on it. Also, check out beersinthelot.com for anything else you might be curious about this podcast. And be sure to join the Discord at beersinthelot.com/Discord. So in episode 167, the guys and I talked about our upcoming trip to Johnstown and how we're getting hyped. And then we just can't help ourselves. We talked about Mullet Arena and the Nashville practice facility and how NHL players just deserve better than this. Then we talked a little bit about how cheaper gear could break the barrier to entry and help more people discover the game. So let's get to it and crack the beers.
Look at that pour over there. Enrique, what do you have this evening?
I have from Athletic Brewing a Run Wild IPA style non-alcoholic brew.
Dope.
Dope. Dope boy.
Dope boy.
Dope boy shit.
Yeah.
Danny, what do you have?
From Thick and Thin Brewing Company, Lavish Warlock Vanilla IPA. It is fucking delicious.
Yeah, the couple things that I've had from them have been good.
Yes, I want to try more.
Yeah, they're up in Hager's Patch.
Might have to make a trip up there.
Yeah, maybe.
Well,
It is the patch.
it'll be a quick trip.
In the daylight.
Yes, obviously. What do you got tonight, Aaron?
Tonight I have, straight out of Belgium, Stella Artois. Artois. However you say it.
Artois.
Stella Artois.
Artois.
Stella Artois.
I feel like if you go to any establishment and you say the full name, you're a sack. Like, just say Stella. Like, just get out of here,
Everybody
man.
knows what you mean. Just say Stella.
Yeah, just say Stella. Thank you. We'll move on.
What do you have tonight, John?
I'm back on my island boy bullshit. I'm drinking a Beach Plum LaCrux. So yeah, because it's over
La Croix.
October. Eric and I have another 2 weeks, roughly, give or take. Almost a full, or like 9 days, I think. Something like that.
It's like a week or something.
Yeah, you guys got to come out, and you got to have a banger for that first Monday
Well,
beer.
The first Monday will be the Monday after Johnstown.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So,
So-
Eric and I may be
Oh.
back on the wagon.
so well, we'll be recording in Johnstown, so
Right. So we probably won't have the following Monday. Following Monday.
Yeah. But whatever we have up in Johnstown, that'll be good too.
I'm pretty sure Eric and I are going to live by the motto, if our breath doesn't catch on fire by Sunday morning, we failed. So- Plan to get rip-roaring drunkard up there. Our schedule seems to set up for it nicely, so pretty pleased about that.
Yeah, I was about to say it's definitely time to be hyped for Johnstown. And we have one more week, one more recording after this before we are going to Johnstown and recording the Johnstown episode. So it's time to get hyped for sure. But yeah, our schedule. Our schedule is it's both brutal and awesome at the same time. If you ask me, because we play early in the morning both days,
Yeah.
which sucks, honestly. But at the same time, we have the rest of the day to do whatever we want, which is awesome. So
The schedule has so much room for activities.
yes, it does.
Yeah.
We will be forced to get up and enjoy the entire day. there is no sleeping in this weekend or that Johnstown weekend.
Well, except for Sunday. I might not make the Sunday game.
Think about it, Aaron. If you can enjoy a full day, you can literally get a full night of sleep.
Correct.
And I don't know if you've seen a lot of the data, literally, I don't know, everywhere. Sleep's very important. So I'm just saying. So I would argue
yes, John, sleeping
against your
is
point.
important.
Yeah. Or passing out, however you want to classify that weekend. But yeah. Yeah, man.
Yeah, if you don't remember when you went to sleep, then how do you know you didn't get a good night's sleep, right?
Hey, man. Wallet, keys, cell phone. If they're on your person, you're fine. You're totally fine. Also, like, don't sleep anywhere. Like, try and make it back to your room, etc. Like, don't pass out. We
That's
don't need
solid
anybody
advice.
having problems due to exposure or anything. It's a modern society we live in. So, yeah.
It's going to be a time. That's for sure. You were telling me, John, yesterday that we're going to face off one of the teams that we always play. It seems like no matter, 10 teams in the division, we always play these guys. There's, 6 teams. It doesn't matter. You can only play 3 like regular games before a playoff game anyway, but we always play the Delmont team
Which is fine.
every year.
We have
And
no
it's great.
problem with
Yeah.
those guys.
We love
No, they're
those
cool.
guys.
Yeah.
They're great. Yeah.
I don't know any of their names, but they are
Nope.
cool. They're
Exactly.
always
Delmont
cool.
guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Delmont team.
And it's always a good game. And we
Mhm.
usually see them out in town later on, and they hang out and have beers and whatever. It's cool. They're
Absolutely.
good. They're good dudes.
Oh yeah,
Not,
actually, I think
not
like,
guys.
I feel like every yeah, they're dudes. I feel like we've never. I mean, knock on wood, we haven't really had many issues like going up there and playing teams. Everyone kind of gets it for the most part. So, I mean,
Yeah.
we've seen some stuff in other divisions. Don't get me wrong, like some crazy stuff. But like, us, we're good to go. So everyone gets it. at
Yeah,
our
we
level,
always
at
win
least.
a lot anyway.
Or the town. The
We
town.
win
except
the
for-
entire
except for the-
zip code.
Except for the one year we did drink out front of like the Holiday Inn and stuff. The one
Well,
year.
that was
There's a
COVID
track meet
2020
later.
Yeah.
it was COVID restrictions.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
you're right. Jeez, it
You
all
couldn't
blends
go in
together.
anywhere. Yeah.
It all blends together.
I had a flashback of that the other game. Last night. A teammate of ours was driving the net and leapt over the goalie, and it gave me an instant flashback to 2020 when he was leaping over road barriers. Holiday
Shoeless.
Yeah.
Like
Shoeless.
23-degree weather.
Good times. We found a way to have fun, even though we couldn't like go do anything.
We always have fun, man.
We
That
always
was
have
kind of like a mental health trip, like as the
Yeah.
girls would say, a mental health weekend, self care, if you will. So yeah, we really needed it. We're all cooped up, so let's go play hockey somewhere and just party hardy.
This year will surely not disappoint. It never does.
No, absolutely not. One thing that didn't disappoint is Daniel's team. You guys won last night somehow, some way.
Yeah, it was bad. I mean, what, like 2 actual teams showed up, and then the other teams were hodgepodge. Like we had to give dudes to the other team.
No, you gave
yeah.
guys. Your team is full of guys. You
Yeah.
have dudes on your
Yeah.
team.
Yeah, the guy before the game came in, and he was like, we got this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. And then he stopped, and we're like, and? No, that's it. They had 4 guys.
Or
Wait,
4
4
guys.
total?
4 total guys showed up.
All right.
Wow.
That's a problem.
That team, we should regulate them. I don't know what league we'd regulate them to. They need to be
Relegate.
relegated.
Wednesday.
Relegated,
Yeah.
sorry.
Relegate them to
No,
Wednesday.
no. They shouldn't play, period. We don't need this stuff.
The attendance last night was subpar.
It was abysmal.
Yeah.
But I'm
Fell
actually
off
not
a cliff.
I don't want to talk about the on ice attendance. I want to talk about the lot attendance.
Correct.
That is more,
Even worse.
as Daniel said, I don't know where he got the phrase from. Sad state of affairs. It really was. It's embarrassing. I mean, all right, if it was 20 degrees, blaring wind, I'm not that upset. It wasn't that bad. Aaron wasn't wearing a jacket. It wasn't that cold.
It wasn't that cold. I did wear
wasn't that cold.
pants though.
Oh.
So I mean,
Oh, it was a little chilly if he had pants on.
It had a
Yeah.
bit of a nip in the air, but it wasn't cold.
Sad state
not
of
cold.
affairs. I'm not cold. Aaron's a cool kid at the bus stop. Yeah, what's up with that?
Yeah,
It's depressing.
it's unacceptable. You know,
Starts from the top.
It does. Really
Yeah,
poor
but he,
leadership
uh,
at the top.
how many captains were in the lot last night at 11:00?
One.
One, only one. Oof.
Yeah, one.
I agree, Daniel. Sad state of affairs.
It's not
Yeah.
not a good look.
It's not very becoming of our
Not a
league.
good look.
People are going to start to talk. Rumors will spread.
Word gets around fast.
Yeah, word gets around fast. I mean, technically not, because if you're not there, you won't hear shit. So
Yeah, you don't know.
I don't know. Well, one guy, he gets a pass because he had to report to a crime that was going on in our Fair County.
Yeah, he gets.
So
gets a
yeah,
pass.
he gets a pass. He got a call, but other than
Unfortunately,
that-
his team desperately needed him last night, but yeah, he had more important.
Yeah.
things.
well, is it really that
Legit more
important? Is it? Is it? I mean,
Is it?
Yes,
is it really more
It
important?
is, yeah.
I think
don't know.
importance is all a matter of perspective.
Exactly.
then?
We need. I think that's kind of, do I see it as important? Maybe not, because the area in question, I'm sick of it. I don't like that area, so whatever. It's a well-to-do area in our Fair County. I think it steals the shine from many other areas. Like my beacon of a city on the hill here. Whatever. Any exciting storylines from the NHL catching your eye, Daniel?
No, I mean Zegers bagging on Arizona before his game was great.
that was pretty funny. Yes.
Yeah,
also
that's
great as he
spectacular.
lost. So
Well, we don't need to talk. We don't need to touch on that. that, as Eric said, eye of the beholder. That's not important. Continue.
Well, no. Let's put context in on what Daniel was talking about with Zegers throwing shade, because he was being interviewed and they were like, "Oh, how do you like playing at Mullet?" And he was like, it's great. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's great." It was pretty good. Like you could clearly, both of them knew, and everybody listening knows what he was saying, but knows that he has to say that it's great. But
you think that sentiment's the same across the NHL?
it's got to be, right?
Yeah, they don't have NHL facilities.
Yeah.
Oh.
So like, and yeah, like some of these guys, like it's been years since they've had to do certain things a certain way, and they're used to a certain level of TLC when they walk into whatever rink.
It's in the CBA that certain
Exactly. That's
amenities
where I was
are
going.
supposed to be available.
Yeah.
So if you're not even providing that, then like there's a problem.
Yeah.
It's literally part of their compensation packages
Right.
as
Yeah.
as employees. Like so like even I saw on I think it was Instagram today, the Stars, I want to say, they're in Nashville to play, I guess tomorrow or something, because nobody else is playing tonight except for Montreal and Buffalo. And oh, by
Yeah,
the way,
great-
the game's
great
on
league.
Yeah, so
the
nobody's
game's
playing.
on NHL Network, so you're not watching
Yeah,
it.
great
Um,
league.
So they were going to practice in Nashville, I think, and they had to dress at like the hotel and take a bus to whatever the practice rink they were going to be at, and they literally put in the caption like, this is, you have to get dressed and take a bus because they don't have proper facilities or proper dressing rooms at the
Oh,
practice
God.
facility that we have to use. Like they just threw it out there. So I think like the Arizona thing is like opened up a little bit of Pandora's box on some of these things where teams are just gonna like, if it's not right,
Yeah.
teams are just gonna be like, hey, this isn't right.
Which I kind of like, because like over the course of years, like they have had, you know, kind of weird things where like, hey, something happened at this rank, so we're gonna shift, you know. But if it's like standard or like, you know, it happens to a few teams and you're like the second team that this has happened to in short order, they're like, no, this ain't right. Like, what the hell's going on? Which I like.
Yeah.
Like, how many? I mean, I'm sure it's happened for years and you just don't hear it. I'm sure like in the 70s, 80s, 90s, they did have like certain pro standards. I don't know if it was as clearly spelled out in the CBA as it is now, but like I'm sure teams would screw with other teams, you know, just Jags being Jags. But now it's like, well, no, you know, there's a certain standard you have to present to, you know, your visiting team. It's ridiculous. And especially, like I said, like apparently somebody wants to give them a draft and an all-star game and shit. And it's like, no, I don't think so. We don't need that. I unsubscribe hard from that.
How would the All-Star weekend even work there?
Right?
Like the whole point is that you try and fill the building and you try and sell like all the sponsors crap.
It'd
to
be easier to
everybody,
sell
like,
there. There's only
would
like
it?
there's only like 20 tickets or some bullshit, right? Like, I mean, yeah,
But you know, it's not going to work in that building. That's just, I don't know. That's not good.
No.
And the players aren't going to want to go there.
yeah,
No, of
no
course
one,
not. Like
no.
this is the show. This is the NHL. Like there is no better league in the world. I mean, everybody wants to get to the NHL, obviously for like the fame and the glory kind of aspect of it or whatnot. But part of that is you're the top echelon. I mean, if you're not being treated like you're a top echelon player when you're going to an NHL arena, even if you're on the road, then I mean, that's bullshit. I mean, there's supposed to be nothing better. So when, you know, a North Dakota high school team has better facilities than NHL facilities, like, what the fuck?
Hmm.
That's not how it's supposed to be. So yeah, I agree with the players if they get upset that, you know, they go to a place visiting on the road or something like that, and it's some bullshit facilities. I agree with that entirely. You didn't work hard to get there to have to put up with that shit. I mean, that's not the way it's supposed to be. It's wrong.
Well, like think of you know, not to say anything negative about like, you know, ASU. They don't have a massive college barn, you know?
Well, they don't need one.
They don't need one. But I'm saying like it's not like Yost or some of the other ones around the country for
Well,
NCAA.
no, it's not a like a Big Ten school. It's not
Correct.
one of-
Exactly. Yeah.
So no, right? It's a smaller school. So, you know, they need the student section and the alumni and, you know, the local fans. So if that equates to a 5,000 seat sellout on an average sellout night during the season, then okay, like that's all they need. And really, if you go around college hockey, a lot of the buildings are about that size.
Yep.
Very few of them are, you know, over that or approaching 8,000-10,000 or more. Very few. So, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, it's a beautiful building for ASU to have for their Division I program. And it was purpose built for them. Like it wasn't built for an NHL club to come and be a tenant. Period.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
Why
exactly.
why do we keep
squatter more like
like-
it?
why do we keep
Squatters.
having to like have these questions come up? Like why is someone even asking Zegras this? Like,
I think it's
you
a
know?
propaganda thing. I really do. Like the more and more I think about it, I'm like, you know, why are these journalists like always associated with the NHL or some to do with some of the bigger networks, always asking these damn questions. I think it's like a talking point from the league. Hey, bring it up how cool it is. It's like, no,
Yeah.
it's not cool. Like
It's not.
it's not. It sucks. I just like it highly. But screw the Yotes. Sick of those jobbers.
Hold up, we need a quick intermission to hear about our sponsors. The NFL season is going strong, and DraftKings Sportsbook is hooking new customers up with an offer that's even stronger. Bet $5 on any game this week to score $200 instantly in bonus bets. And DraftKings isn't stopping there. All customers can take advantage of a sweetener offer every game day this October. Get in on the game day greatness. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code THPN. New customers can score $200 instantly in bonus bets when you bet $5 on the NFL. That's code THPN only on DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. That's 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, licensee partner Golden Nugget, Lake Charles, Louisiana. 21 plus, age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/football terms for eligibility and deposit restrictions, terms, and responsible gambling resources.
What is kind of cool, I did see like Gretzky is like putting his name to Northland again. They're gonna sell like 3 packs of wood hockey sticks
Oh
to
yeah.
seniors, youths, and juniors, like $99 for 3-pack for youth, junior, and then senior it's like $109 for wood sticks. So like economically, that's really good
Mm-hmm.
in this economy. Oh my gosh,
This
it's great. But I mean, I'm sure
That's
some
good.
people
It's trying to
I'm
get more
sure-
people into it. I mean,
exactly making like
sticks are crazy.
sticks are insane,
Well,
and
Well, all
at
gear.
the point,
Right.
like in the release, they kind of made the point of the average recreational player doesn't need a $200 plus composite
no,
stick,
no.
with the 6K carbon fiber weave and all the bullshit. Like
Right.
the
Yeah,
average
absolutely
rec
not.
player doesn't need that. They literally need a wood stick that has a hockey stick shape to it. Like that's it.
Yeah,
Like-
exactly. I mean, it's just in skates, it's like even crazier because, well, you guys all had young kids. Like the growth rate on a child season to season, that's insane. So you're spending, a couple $100 of skates every year plus league fees, sticks, helmets, because you do need, especially now, like, need to get a good helmet for their noggin. Like that shit ain't cheap.
Not at
It
all.
ain't cheap at all.
The helmets are one of the most expensive pieces of equipment now. They have exponentially
R&D
increased in
gone into 'em
price.
now.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Well, that and there's a lot of bullshit too about
True.
this is 18% more effective against concussion and stuff. First of all, the helmet does nothing for concussion. It's just
I feel like the way
There's
they
no-
test those things, they
Let's
put
be
it on like a
honest.
crash test dummy, and it's like, yeah, that won't happen on the ice, but like,
it's just,
whatever.
It's just
thanks.
not the way the concussions
They
work.
take it and
like-
shoot a slingshot at it, and like, what? That
Yeah,
doesn't.
yeah.
That doesn't translate.
They put somebody in like the 16th century catapult, like a body in it with a helmet, and they like launch them. Like, yeah, that'll work. Oh, yeah.
This helmet passed the trebuchet test.
But the cost is such a barrier, like for anybody. Doesn't matter how old you are or what level or anything. The costs are a huge barrier for getting into the game, staying in the game, advancing in the game. Like it's so hard to move around unless you have, lots of disposable income.
Right.
So
And it also stinks because the gear stinks. That's actually one of the big problems is that the gear is not necessarily reusable. Some of the gear you just need to get a new pair for a new user. Like
yeah.
you can't I wouldn't put my kids in a used pair of gloves. And my
No,
kids
no.
would not. You cannot do that. Like
No.
that's disgusting.
Yeah.
Like literally, the stink of the gear is a huge problem. And skates, I think, are the same sort of way. Like maybe if the skates are lightly used, you might be able to get away with it. But some people skate barefoot, and those skates, nobody should wear secondhand skates of somebody that skates barefoot. And I mean, it's the sort of thing that, like, yeah, shin guards, elbows, shoulders, probably even, breezers, pants, whatever, those can be used secondhand. But each of those individual items, if you want to buy a decent one of them, then you're talking at least $75 for the lower end of things. And
Yep.
it's just a huge barrier to entry. And it's kind of a shame that in order for those companies to make a profit, then they have to sell them obviously at price points where they can profit off of, producing and distributing and so on. But it makes it so difficult for new people to get in. And it's a real shame that there's not a way that companies could make the bare minimum thing that would also be protective enough to actually safely play the game for a price point that people could get in. And it's an unfortunate side effect of the way that the sport is played, that it just costs money to get in. I don't know how you get around it. That's a big, that's one that the NHL would love to solve, I think, because the more kids that they can get starting to play the game, then the more interest that they'll have in the sport, and that's good for everybody that loves hockey. But
Yeah. I don't know if they really care. I say that jokingly, but also seriously, because I think a billion-dollar business, a multi-billion-dollar business, if they really wanted to fix this problem, they could figure out a way. And really, they make money off of the manufacturers, because the manufacturers have to pay to play in the league. So in order to be allowed as equipment in the league, they have to literally pay for that. So, I think there isn't a lot of incentive for them, for the NHL at least. I think that the governing bodies of the sport, the national governing bodies of the sport, should do a whole hell of a lot more towards making things more accessible than they are today. And they shouldn't point, and I think what happens is they point at the NHL and say, well, you need to do more, when they in fact could already be doing more than they are. Not saying they do nothing, but I think it falls way short of what they could be doing. I think their focus is more on, national teams and the sponsorships and rights to those teams and the business of those teams than it is what their main purpose should be, which is literally governing the sport in the countries that they operate in, and helping those sports to grow and thrive. And then worry about, okay, the way we get our name out there is we do well in international tournaments. That's really how hockey jump started in America, was obviously the Miracle Team 1980, right? But I think that from that we lost sight of what the governing body should be doing, and that's the real grassroots stuff. And
well, Eric, it's kind
that.
of, it is funny because like I was kind of, as you were saying, like the governing bodies like Hockey Canada, Swedish Hockey Federation, USA Hockey, all those bodies need to do more. I think like they kind of neglect the fact that like they have a marketing tool they could technically use. Like the NHL is the marketing tool. They're putting it on TV, they're running ads, they have video games, so like the hard part of getting what hockey is out into the grassroots, that's already done for you. You literally don't have to do that. Now what you have to do is get more sticks into people's hands, whether it's ball hockey, roller hockey, then doing, ice hockey. I mean, USA Hockey only does like 2 try hockey for free days. October,
right. And
which is
guess
conjunction
what?
with females,
They
and then
don't-
they do the February one.
But all they do is put out the collateral for it. So
Exactly.
hey,
Yeah.
here's the images that you
Yeah,
should
yeah.
use
Yeah.
on your social media to promote this. And then they tell all of the local associations down at the regional level, like, you have to run this.
Yeah.
You have to go find all the
Exactly.
equipment to let kids
Yeah.
use. Right.
Mhm.
So what happens is, like, locally here, when those days come up, for weeks leading up to it, you have the local rinks and the local hockey associations reaching out to the community saying, if you have old equipment that you can donate to the Try Hockey for Free Day, please help us out. So then you get all that old nasty gear, Aaron, right? That these kids are now using for Try Hockey for Free Day. Instead of, what if they literally went to the manufacturers and said, you could be the exclusive partner of this thing and outfit these kids for Try Hockey for Free Day. Literally give us the bags of equipment and let these kids skate for the hour or whatever it is. Your name's out there now as part of this great event, and now all these kids are going to be hooked. So it's these types of things that drive me nuts about, especially like USA Hockey, right? And I'm a card carrying member or whatever. But
Right.
like it drives me nuts that they'll spend more time on sending their stupid magazine to your house every week that has NHL players on
Fucking
the
hate that thing.
NHL players on the cover all the time, and then a bunch of advertisements in it, but there's no like real action towards
Substance.
like making the game affordable and by extension growing it, right? There's none of that goes on.
Yeah. I don't care if Trevor Zegras likes spaghetti. I don't care. To me, that is so like it makes me want to puke every time I see it. Or like what Sonny Milano's hair care routine is. Yeah, that doesn't impact me on a daily
Irrelevant,
basis.
I think it has one step, by the way.
Yeah, nothing.
Get out of bed.
Yeah.
Get out of Anaheim.
Yeah.
Sign for a bloated number with the Caps, drain them, and then move on to next team. I think that's what it is. No, I'd love to see like something. I mean, as goofy as it is, like I think like some of those guys, like Aaron's buddy with the green biscuit, Swaggy P, and like, Pavel Barber and like some of the guys like on the bench, as goofy as they are, like I think those three kind of Instagram, accounts, I hate saying influencers, but it's true. They've probably driven more people to kind of get social impressions, and I don't know how many people they've physically gotten into the game, but I'm sure they're following it more, which already is like, that's the gateway, like follow it. Then maybe, if someone our age started following the NHL or hockey now, we may not want to jump into it, but maybe when we have kids,
right,
they're going to get into it.
But even those guys, like, they're all three of those that you just mentioned are influencer partners or whatever you want to call it.
True.
Of Bauer.
Yeah,
right?
they're all Bauer brand. Yeah.
And they all went to the new Vapor release event thing and the new Hyperlight release event thing, and they played in that game and they were videotaped and everything, and Bauer used them, right?
Yeah.
For the most expensive pieces of equipment that Bauer sells, not for the entry level stuff that they sell, right?
Right.
So if those people were to say, hey, I'll do this for you, but I'm only going to do it to grow the game, and I'm only going to do it to show, the stuff that is cheaper and could help people get into the game, that would be one thing, right? But that's not what's happening. Like, the brands are always going to push people towards the top end stuff and say, you have to have this in order to be Pavel Barber, in order to be Swaggy P, right? In order to pull all those moves off, you have
Which
to
is
have
nice. Yeah.
you have to have the new Hyperlight stick.
That's
right?
dope.
Right. So
Yeah. Well, no, it's funny you mention that. So like you guys know I've gotten into archery, and John Dudley, he's like part of Knock On Archery, and he works with a company, PSE. So
is he one of the Dudley boys?
No, he is not one of the Dudley boys.
That'd been sick.
He's not. But he
No.
last deer season, what he does is he does like a bow build at the beginning of the season. He does like a same bow, one for target archery, one for hunting purposes. And last year he did PSE's kind of like entry level bow
Right.
and used it the entire season. And his whole thing was, I've been using the top end for years, and there are people out there that aren't going to ever buy a top end bow because it's a price point issue or like, kind of a use issue where they're kind of like, well, for what I do, where I only get a deer a year and I'm only going to dedicate X amount of time, like, am I going to do it? So the whole year he went through like just using the entry level bow, and he even like tested out the metrics, and he was like, yeah, it's a little off on some of my speed with my arrows and whatnot, but he's like, I accomplished everything I needed to do. He got like his elk, his deer, his moose tag, everything filled with that entry level bow. Like, we should actually try and use wood sticks one night. I actually would like to see that.
Yeah, that would
That'd be
be
nice.
fun. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to doctor mine up heavily with like the torch and shit, but I'll be fine. Like, yeah, but actually that would be kind of cool because like Pittsburgh, didn't they use wood sticks like a
Yeah, they had
last
a
season or
practice
something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see like a little. I mean, I'm not saying NHL players you would use wood sticks, but I would like to see like an updated video of like using the top end Valor, top end CCM, Warrior True, and then get somebody to use a wood stick, like the same guys, and just do it. Like, see Ovi's one timer with the wood stick. See what he clock it at.
Yeah.
That'd be cool stuff. That'd be awesome to see. I would love to see like some of those guys, like you were talking about, like Swaggy P and so on. If they would just like, even if they did videos where they'd compare, here's what I can do with the top level stick, and here's what I can do with, a $50 stick. A video like that would be huge.
Yes.
Like, people would be like, oh, if you're skilled, then an entry level stick might limit you a little bit, but not a lot, not
And
significantly.
actually, as like a parent, like imagine doing that. Like, yeah, Swaggy P can do the same stuff, so like you will too. You'll be
Right. I'm
fine.
not buying
Right.
you
You'll be
this
fine, little Aaron.
$350
Yeah.
stick
Yeah.
to play A-level hockey. Like, get
Yeah.
out of here.
Yeah.
Kick rocks, nerd.
They can kick rocks.
All right, everybody. That's it. All right, everybody. That's it for this week's episode. Thank you all for listening. Please make sure to subscribe, rate, and review, and make sure to keep an eye out for new episodes every Wednesday. Until next week, Godspeed.
No.
You got to keep
I like it.
laughing
I like
and everything, and they're burping and all that. Keep it all.
We should.